My name is Dan Dornbos. We're on Sour Beer Ranch, and this is our summer range for our cattle. It's called the Sweetwater Basin. The ranch was started as a family ranch 3 generations ago in the early 1900s. In 2015, we got started in a program called the NRCS Sage Grouse Initiative. We want to see the sage grouse preserved, but we also have to make the ranch operation work for us. So we worked out a plan where we could put in some rotational grazing pastures, develop some more water, and rest some pastures that would benefit the birds each year and also benefit the grass for our cattle.
I'm John Wagner, and I'm the district conservationist with NRCS in Madison County, Montana. Sage grouse were not doing so well throughout their range due to habitat degradation and connectivity issues. So on this particular property, we developed a plan to cut down a lot of conifer encroachment, set back that succession in the rangeland, cut the trees back to historical kind of forest boundary. They did some fencing modifications because sage grouse have a lot of trouble around fences, and it also benefits other wildlife, pronghorn, mule deer, elk.
Well, the conifers are just a natural perch for predators like the eagles that are up here, and the hawks and osprey. They're all up here, and of course sage grouse are pretty easy pickings for them if they can see them. So we got an EQIP grant from NRCS and came up here and cleared an area of all the encroaching conifers. We just mapped out some areas that were within distance of a lek, a breeding area for the sage grouse, that were close to those areas for one thing. And then, we took out some pretty large areas that just had scattered timber in them, basically.
We'll work with a landowner to see what works best for them, how much they can take on at any one time, and then develop a plan, and then the landowner will either do it themselves or work with a contractor to have the work completed. So behind me here on this hill is one of our treatment units. You can see some of the trees on the ground. Beforehand, there was a lot of bare ground because the trees shade out grasses and forbs and even sagebrush in some cases. So by removing those trees, putting them on the ground, we have more grass and forb production, which is good for the ranchers and their cows and the sage grouse that rely on that forage as well.
Visiting with the biologists that keep track of the sage grouse, it has increased the number of sage grouse in this area significantly.
My name's Cammie Kilwine. I'm the area range specialist for NRCS in Miles City. We're currently at the Woodford Ranch in Garfield County, Montana. NRCS has been working with Jay on conservation planning for the last 20 years or so.
We're in what we call Cow Basin, and my family's been ranching. My grandpa started ranching out here in the late 20s. The programs we've been involved with through the NRCS have improved the wildlife habitat. We're leaving grass for cover, so when you do get a rain, it lasts a lot longer. The moisture goes deeper. It's been very beneficial working with the NRCS as far as making this a sustainable ranch.
Jay's ranch is in Core 6 sage grouse habitat, so it's been a designated area really important to sage grouse. He's got every season of habitat on this place, so a lek, winter habitat, nesting habitat, brood rearing habitat, it's all here in one place. Really, improving the habitat comes down to improving rangeland health, making sure that there's enough cover and food for the sage grouse. But we've also marked fences that we thought were threats to sage grouse, and we've put escape ramps and tanks. Basically everything we've done, we've had sage grouse in mind to make sure that what we're doing is not negatively impacting them. And overall, I think we're seeing the benefits of that.
My name's Gary Bischoff. We're in southeast Carter County. I've been here going on my 11th year. I lease the ranch from the Arbuckles. It's a cow-calf operation. Hay, alfalfa, and grass.
I've been working with Arbuckles on their conservation plan probably for the last 5 years. It takes a lot of infrastructure generally to get a large ranch like this one to where there's water spread out and cross fencing and engineering all in place to where we can use the cows as tools the way that we need to improve the landscape.
What we've done with the sage grouse is we put the fencing, we've replaced a lot of woven wire fences, put barbed wire fences in, put markers on it. All the tanks and everything we put in, we have the bird ramps in them.
NRCS has been involved in the planning, the locating, the designing, and the engineering, and parts of the implementation of the pits and the stockwater pipelines that come off of them. We've helped Arbuckles basically in every phase of the project to make sure it gets off the ground, is done right, and functions properly. So throughout the conservation planning process, NRCS tries to be there every step of the way in order to make sure the conservation plan is successful.
Part of our mission is sustaining or improving wildlife habitat, as well as working with our customers to help them be a more profitable and sustainable agricultural operation.